What's up, everybody? It's Spencer Alessi, and this is the Esports Narrative. This is episode 21 of the Esports Narrative. I, again, am your host, Spencer Alessi, and today I'm joined with Paul, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, but correct me if I'm wrong, Faltoy?
That's actually my old last name.
So I don't even have the right information.
That's bad. That's okay. But my last name is Ribera, R-I-B as in boy.
And he's, and more importantly probably his Twitter, and he's at Paulshi. So it's at xpaul, S-H-I, on Twitter. And I'll let him give a little bit of an intro what he's up to. But essentially, he's a competitive Halo player and streamer for Vital Esports, a Twitch affiliate, and I believe the Halo captain for Vital Esports. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us today. I really appreciate you taking some time, and what I'd like to hear is just kind of tell us about how you got into, Halo, competitive Halo, or esports in general, and kind of what compelled you to go in that direction.
Oh, well, that's a good question, because I started really far back in probably the birthing of esports, because it all started off with Halo 1, of course, and who is now my roommate and my longtime friend. I met his brother, and he was a Halo player, and he used to watch MLG back in the day, and he went to an event, and his first event, he had to take his own TV and Xbox to this MLG event in Anaheim, which is crazy to think about, because now they are in arenas, and this was back in 2003. And then I just played Halo with them all the time, just like every day we were landing. Like there literally wasn't a day where you hear an Xbox boot up and you'd hear the Halo theme song playing. was constantly happening. And then I went to my first event in Anaheim 04 with them, and it was kind of crazy because I was like the newest to the group, and I made it to the team to go to this event, and we got 15th place out of, I want to say it was 55 teams. And then that was just really the benchmark to like, this is awesome. These are my people.
Yeah.
It's just, it's crazy to think about because like, I don't know, like growing up in school, I was definitely like bullied and like shunned from like the cool kids or the athletic kids. And it's like, and I finally got to go somewhere and like feel welcome.
What was that like for you as an outlet? To have esports as an outlet.
It was great. I mean, like, it's just like, I don't know how, it's so weird to explain because I never had that in like many places except for like my small group of friends. And then to see like, there's hundreds of people in this building all here wanting to play a video game. And it's just like, I felt so welcome. I was able to approach anybody, say, hey, how you doing? Or just to meet like Zyos, who was the best in the world at the time. And I got to shake his hand, and he was cool. It was just like amazing to me. That was me like meeting like Tom Hanks or something, but for my world.
Right. What does esports mean to you now? And, why do you think it's so exciting?
Well, now it's taken over. I mean, and it's still blowing up. Like, it's not done to where it is. And I'm excited. I mean, just like, I went to this last event, DreamHack Atlanta, and this was probably the biggest Halo 5 event besides, like, Worlds and all that. But for just, like, the 93 teams coming and just, like, it was huge. And just to reword it, but esports it's definitely taken over. Because I remember a time where, like, you play video games? Oh, you play video games? It's just like it wasn't a thing to do or say, like, people were proud of being, like, I'm a pro gamer. And now you could say that, and it's, like, on the regular. You hear it more often, and, like, it's acceptable.
What do you think, as far as Halo goes, compared to, say, Call of Duty? Because I know those two are kind of going up head-to-head right now. How do you think Halo fits into the future?
Well, I hope it stays. Because right now, Halo is in a dry slate. I'm pretty sure you see it from, like, the comparison to the meme world of, oh, look at Halo Worlds this last season, and it was like in a garage, compared to where we just saw Worlds where Optic won. That was an arena. It was like a football, I forgot what kind of stadium it was. It was a basketball stadium, if I was correct, at the Fairway Arena. And that's insane. But I just hope Halo stays alive, and I hope that like if you keep up with Halo and like its esports aspect of it, you can tell like it's a dying breed right now. There's not as much people as it used to have, and I was hoping with this next DreamHack event in Denver, it stays alive, and then like 343 gets their act together and really like tries to fix the game, because yet again, if you follow, you definitely know the issues that are in the game.
What do you think Halo needs to revitalize itself?
You definitely just listen to the fans, because I know they have a huge following, because it's Halo. Halo's always going to be big because where it came from. Just like when you have a little brother, a bigger brother, they're playing Halo, they're playing that or Call of Duty. Mm-hmm. And it's always going to have a benchmark in gaming because what it did. Like, if you remember, like, games after, FPSs after Halo CE came out, everyone had on their commercials the Halo killer. This is going to break Halo. This is like the next Halo. And it never happened. And that's what I think Halo needs to do, is listen to their fans, listen to what has to happen with the weapons, the glitches, and all that, and just get it fixed. But they also have to keep the casuals happy, even though there's a larger number of them than there are of the esports aspect. So it's just all in the middle, and it's literally haywire right now. But I know next week they're releasing a test of switching of weapon strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully that goes well, and it's like another like a bump or a push to making Halo great again.
Yeah, it'd be nice to see it. I had the CEO of Ambition Esports on, Ryan Stanton, a couple weeks ago, and he was saying that Halo 6 is going to be a big boom to the Halo franchise, and he thinks that Halo 6 is going to be a very big esport and bring Halo back into its prime. So I'm curious to see if that happens, and I'm hopeful that it will, because the two big console games right now are Halo and Call of Duty, and Gears of War is kind of trailing in their third from my perspective.
I definitely agree, and I hope. I don't really like looking at Halo 6 right now, because I don't like looking that far into the future, but I know Halo 6 is going to be a good game. It's going to... I just hope they take what they have with Halo 5, and they just, like, start anew and try not to make too much change. Because... look what Call of Duty did. Like, just this weekend, they had the beta, and the beta was so much fun. I don't know if you got to try a little bit or not, but it was really fun. And I'm glad they went back to boots on the ground. That's just going to rejuvenate and bring back people. Because I know jetpacks came out, and then, like, people left the community. They didn't like it, and they just started playing the remastered. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a smart move, listening to their community and having the beta, and I think what those developers are doing seems to be working, obviously, because of all the excitement around it. I mean, it's really going to pay off for them.
Definitely is. But I'm in the hope for Halo 6, for sure.
What's one reason people fail to succeed in Halo, from a competitive standpoint?
Ooh, that's a good question. All right, so this could be... It's just like, okay, for one thing, people don't stick together as a team. That's one huge thing. If you see that in the amateur scene, like, and I was part of it. I've been a part of the amateur scene for a while. Since my first Halo 5 event, I was 21st out of 50 teams, and then just kept on placing that high. So I've been part of this little, like, this group of teams that just, like, constantly, like, hey, we didn't perform well. You're the problem. Get out of here. We're going to try this guy out. It's that constant thing. And it's just, some of the mentalities that kids have, it's never going to push them that far. I mean, if you look at Oxygen Supremacy, who's now in the Vantic, I think they're the first amateur team to get in to the Pro League. Because it's always been just the same top 8 the last, 2-3 seasons. Mm-hmm. And it's because they had a different look at the game, because they knew they had to stick together, and they did. I know for a little bit there was I think Dastroid or Troy. People didn't like him, but Ryan Noob said, no, we're keeping him on the team. This is going to be our team. And they kept it, and they're now pros. because they kept the team.
Mm-hmm.
Because no matter what, you can work on things. And that's what people don't seem to do. Or even just watching film. Watching film is one thing amateur players don't do. And if you do, you're going to see your mistakes, see what you have to work on. You're seeing it from a different perspective instead of just diving headfirst into games over and over and over again and keep on making the same mistakes.
Yeah. Now, why, what is it like, being in that the challenger spot as far as placing 15th, 20th in a tournament? What's that like when you're going up against teams that are maybe better than you? How's that feel, and what's that experience like?
It's definitely, I like going at it differently because I've been doing it because I competed for Halo 1 and Halo 2. So I've definitely been in that spot more than once. Coming at it in Halo 5, it's just if you think about it too much, you're probably going to lose, or you could use it as fire and win with it. But I know people that have oh no, hey, let's just think of a random team, like a Contra, oh, I got Contra on this team, he's good, or this and this, or Nebula, or freaking just overthinking it. You're going to want to, you're probably going to be timid with your gameplay or something, but you just have to be relaxed. Who cares whose name's on the other side of the team? They're Spartans too. They're just, don't overthink it and just play, because there's definitely times where that's if you're on the force of elimination, that I think is probably the funnest for me, is doing a loser bracket run. This is it. If you lose this, you're out. If you win, you get to keep going and possibly play another team like that. And then obviously winning a team that's supposed to be better than you is so satisfying. Just the underdog story is what I love.
Yeah, your back's up against the wall.
Yeah.
Really, the comeback story is really exciting.
Mm-hmm.
What's been the worst moment for you in esports, and how did you overcome it?
Definitely the second Vegas event. I got double first rounded, and that's when you literally play 2 series and you lose both of them. You didn't go nowhere. And it was definitely a roll. It was a long weekend because you put in money, you practice with this team. I mean, we were together probably 2 months, and it was rough because I was really scared going with this team, but I had a good time with them, so I was we're gonna try to have fun doing this. And literally,
we from that.
Definitely just don't get mad at things. Take it slow, breathe. Because if you don't do that, stress is a big benefactor in gameplay. And all we did was, I know we stayed friends. We literally stayed at the event. We just hung out a little bit. We networked. And then I know 2 of them stopped playing Halo because all the other events were too far and they don't want to spend that much money to get there. Mm-hmm. And I just kept with it. Usually that puts a benchmark on your hey, my resume. Hey, how did you do at these events? I did this well here, this well here. Oh, it looks right here. And it's you got an F in this class, on your resume or your freaking transcript. Right. It don't look good. And I have that on my resume now, and I'm still here. And I placed top 16 in the last HCS Cup. So no matter what, you just have to bounce back. Because if you don't, you're obviously not strong enough to stay in the game.
What's been your biggest accomplishment so far?
I'm still going to say, I'll just say my first event. Just getting the 15th place was huge because we went in there not knowing how we're going to do well. It'd either be that or getting to the semifinals and playing with Strong Side, Karma. I want to say Captain Anarchy was there and a bunch of other big names back in the Halo 2 days. And being able to play with them and just meet them and stuff was probably my biggest moment.
Now, there's a lot of excitement in esports, and there's a lot of opportunity to do things in esports or make a career out of esports. From your perspective, what are some things that you're trying to capitalize on as far as esports goes, or the excitement, or where are some areas where people can take advantage of the excitement and capitalize on it?
Are you saying from a viewer standpoint, or me as a player?
From a career standpoint, you as a player, or if somebody wants to get into esports and be a journalist or a broadcaster.
Oh, okay.
Events.
Well,
like where's the opportunity for someone to make a career? You know, whether it's playing or otherwise.
Well, it's definitely it's not hard, but it's not easy, if that makes sense. Because I know, like, there's always a chance. There's always a chance. You just have to find it and get there. Because I know, if you ever, like, think of a photographer in the Halo community or the esports community, I think of Sandman. And what does he do? He puts money out of his own pocket to get to events, and he takes pictures. And he doesn't charge anything. He just does it because for the love of esports. And I praise that man. And I haven't met him yet, but I want to, because he does amazing work. If you go look at his albums, it's definitely like he should be getting paid for it. And just like little things like that, or me coming into esports, like I came back from Halo 5, and then everyone that I used to play with, they don't play anymore. I came from nothing, and I put my footprint into the esports community of Halo, and I like to think I'm pretty well known now. You just have to take that chance. You have to go in anywhere. Like, not even knowing people. You just have to, like, do something. You just can't sit here and hope it comes at you. You have to go after it.
Yeah. What's that struggle like? You know, getting your name out there from a player's perspective now. You know, you said you've been playing Halo since Halo 1 and Halo 2. What's it like to try and get your name out, to try and make it in this industry as a player? I mean, I'm assuming that you're, you know, trying to make it into the professional ranks, and you're trying to improve as a team. You know, what's it like on that struggle, that journey?
It's definitely a grind. It is no joke. When you hear pros say it, you hear amateurs say it. It literally is a grind. Like, you don't have to play every day, countless hours. It's like it's like working out. Like, you have to go in, you have to make your time worth it when you're actually doing it. Because going in from nothing, because I didn't compete for Halo 3 in the in-between games because I didn't enjoy them. But then coming back in, I was literally a nobody, and I was just like, I got on Twitter, and I was following all these people, like, oh, hey, I'm looking for a team, like, hey, you want to try out? And I'm like, they didn't know who I was, so, like, no one was giving me a chance. And that's one thing that I really dislike about the Halo community. If they don't know you, or you've never done anything, they're like, you're trash. Like, get out of here, my time's not worth your time. So what I had... Go on.
What's it like to network on Twitter? Did you find that useful to try and meet people and network with other players on Twitter? Definitely.
Like, if you don't have a Twitter, you're not doing it right. Because that's where a lot of this stuff's going down. That's where you see, like, oh, hey, there's a tournament online this weekend, or hey, this guy's looking for this person. Like, if you follow Miss Ninjutsu, he's the plug. He's the guy, like, if you tweet at him, he's a retweet it, and thousands or even hundreds are going to see your tweet because of him. And that's something you need. Because if I didn't have a Twitter, I wouldn't have found the people I found a team with the first Halo 5 event I went to. It's great to network, and it's great to, like, meet people and, like, to make friends, really. Because there's some people that, like, I never heard of. I don't know if you know, heard of the name Kolick. He owns the P5 land in Atlanta. And I didn't know he played Halo 1. And now we've been playing Halo 1 like the past week. And he's actually really cool, and I hope to meet him at Denver. And it's like that. That's a small networking.
Yeah.
It's really easy. Get it. If you're a Halo kid, you're aspiring to try to make it big in Halo, get a Twitter. Don't get discouraged if people ignore you, because if they don't want you, you don't need them. That's one big thing. Don't let it discourage you at all. If you do, they win. You have to want it enough to find somebody and to make it big.
You mentioned a couple influential people along the way here in chatting. What's been some of the best advice someone's ever given you?
That's a good one. I don't know if I've gotten like such random advice. It could be something as simple as one of my teammates saying, "Just don't die. Just don't die."
That's pretty good advice.
Just don't die, because that's what you got to do. Even though I'm known, and my Halo gameplay is I die. I sacrifice myself for the cause, but I don't want that to be my answer though. That's so hard. I would even say like, just don't give up. Like if this is your dream, just go with it, because this is my dream. And I wasn't really gonna go for it, but this shout out to my wife Taylor. She's the one that said, just go for it, just start playing, just do it. And she's the reason I've been to these events. She's gone with me. She's supported me every step of the way. And just go for it, man. Just like literally just do it and don't give up. Simple as that.
Does your veteran background help you kind of with that mentality?
Oh, definitely. Me being an Army veteran, yes. Because I couldn't tell you, like, definitely having those, like, there's definitely, like, 2 moments of my life when I was in the Army overseas and thinking that, like, I don't want to walk anymore. I don't want to move. Like, if I die right now, it's okay. But then, like, seeing my brethren, my brothers in arms next to me, and they're still pushing themselves, I did not know the human body could be pushed so hard. And because it really can. And if you can't do this, like, with real life or just, like, random things like a video game, like, that drive has stayed with me, and I'm never going to forget it.
What's that perspective like? You know, like, it's probably interesting to see the perspective between, you know, life and coming back and playing video games versus, you know, serving in the military.
It's definitely, I don't know, because, like, even though I was in the service, I was still playing video games, and I wish, like, I could use some of the real-life tactics I had just to, like, help me with gameplay, but it just can't, because it's just, it's different levels. It's all it is, and, but definitely the perspective is different. It's definitely different. You can't coexist with one and another.
Sure.
But definitely having that mentality of being, like, with the service, because I was in the infantry, so, like, that's boots on the ground. It doesn't happen like Call of Duty. I'm gonna say that now. When you play Call of Duty, I wasn't doing that overseas. It is not that crazy, I promise you.
What do you think the esports industry needs to continue to grow and be successful?
Events. I wish there was more Halo events, but there isn't. Like, if you look at the Smash community, that's like a small thing I dab in, because when I went to Atlanta, I actually did compete in the Smash. And these guys are having, like, I want to say last month they had 3 events. There was one in Mexico, there was one in Boston, then there was one, like, in Florida. And just last weekend, there was one in LA. Like, they're constantly having events. And even if they're having, like, little weeklies and stuff. And you don't see Halo LANs anymore. But, like, even if, like, it's Call of Duty, I'm pretty sure there's LANs going on. There's things happening, like, in closed doors. And for esports to stay alive, they need LANs. They need the advertisement. They need marketing. Marketing's huge. I see, like, they don't do well in the Halo community. I'm just saying this because that's who I've dabbed with. Like, when we're in Vegas, I was wearing my little, like, my lanyard with the HCS symbol on it. Like, oh, hey, what are you doing? Is there a concert or something? I'm like, oh, no, I'm at a Halo tournament. Like, oh, it's a Halo tournament? Like, they had no idea, and, like, they live, like, 3 blocks away.
Yeah.
Like, there's definitely just marketing. Like, there's marketing, events. Like, that's all you need to do. Just put it out there. Like, let people know what's happening. Because you don't have that, like... But big thing, the Microsoft Store, sorry to go off topic. Have you seen the Microsoft Store tournaments they're having? This is huge. Yeah. This is what I love. Like, this right now, they're doing that right. You want esports to stay alive, you need things like that. Like, small local events, and then pros are showing up to them, too. I know my friend who lives in Vegas, he went to the Microsoft Store free-for-all. He won, and T-Squared was there, and gave him, like, a straight ripping shirt.
Yep. And
I was like, that's cool. Like, that right there, little things like that is what you need to keep esports alive.
Yeah, it's using the power and scale of social media to drive, you know, eyeballs to physical stores like the Microsoft Store to get them, you know, physically engaged. Because ultimately, we're a person-to-person world. Ultimately, we like the intimacy of being right in front of someone. And with social media, you can scale, you know, reaching people and say, hey, we have this event at this local Microsoft Store, and you can drive people to that and engage on a one-to-one level. Yeah. And do cool stuff like that.
Definitely.
What's been the best play you've seen, or the most memorable moment for you in Halo or esports in general?
I'm gonna have to say I have like probably a 2 top plays for me. One of them was during there's like a little like small online tournament group called the Upset Tournaments, and it was 2-1 series. They were up, and we were playing a Plaza Strongholds, and it was like one of those like nail biters. Hey, if we lose this, we get eliminated. But then all my teammates spawned on the opposite side of the map. I was by myself at Nest, and they were capping bottom mid. And I have the clip. I could probably send you the clip or something. You could see it. And there was 3 bottom mid, and they were all looking at where my teammates were spawning. And it was literally like 97 to 98 timing, and they were winning. Or we were winning. So we just needed a little bit more time. And I got into the stronghold, milked it for a second, and I got a triple kill to end the game. We won to make it 2-2. Yeah. To freaking make it to game 5. We ended up losing, but still that play was huge. And even the caster was like, "Oh no, Paulshi doesn't look like a good move." Oh my god, he did it. He just that little thing happening while I was doing that was, oh man, it was huge. It was great. That one, or even like straight number 2 second place was just a random Coliseum flag run. I got like no shields, and like people were shooting at me. I don't know how I survived. Mm-hmm. And just getting the cap. It's like that random things like that. Definitely.
What would be your advice for someone who's just getting into Halo and wants to compete on a competitive level and find a team and go to events and things like that?
For one, be nice. Be nice. God damn it. Sorry for my words. I don't know if you cuss on this channel or not.
No worries.
But, okay, cool. Is just like, don't be a fucking asshole, because like, there's so many kids that's like, that just want to play like arena, like play HCS playlist, play that, rank up in it, get to Onyx, get to champion, or just be a diamond. You know, I play with people that are diamond, and they're just really good. They just can't like find the right team to rank up. Do that. Just play there and just communicate. Work on your comms. Work on your map placement. Just like I say, be nice, because there's always you always run into these people that want to be good, but they're trying to steer the wheel that's already been invented, and they're trying to make it new in game, and just like, oh my god, why are you going over here? Why are you pushing over there? I'll see you die. What's wrong with you? Like, there's more to it than that. I get it. You watch HCS, you watch Pro League, you know it all because you listen to Elamite and T-Square talk about it. But just be nice, be humble about it, and like people would want a team with you. You being like that, you being this toxic person is like, no one wants that. Unless people like people playing with that, then hey, when you find them, let me know. Like, I've never met them. Just keep playing, get on Twitter, meet people, try to get in some custom 8s. That's how people will get to know you, because they want to pick you on their team and all that. There's so many ways to do it, and like that's probably one of them. Just be humble, be nice.
What's when things are firing on all cylinders for you and things are really working, what do you notice that's part of your daily routine when things are going well? Or a daily habit?
Definitely, like, well rested, fed, and I'm warmed up. That's simple as that. Like, if like one of those things isn't happening, it doesn't flow well. But it also has to happen as a team, because this game's so team oriented. You just can't have that, like, one person on the team and he's just doing everything amazing, and the other 3 could be doing not what's right or doing stupid pushes and all that. You can't do that anymore. You have to have everything centered rolling. Because I know me and my team of 2, Eric Wolfgod, he gets hangry. So if you got to be fed, you got to have some good sleep, and you got to be warm. I'll say like maybe 30 minutes of just some thumb time, screen time, just being warm. It's all those are in line. Things that the gears will be spinning, they'll be well oiled. It runs well, runs great.
So what's next for you? Like, what's on your plate, and what are you striving for right now?
Since we got 16th place in this HCS Cup. I mean, we have a good seed now. We're 16th seed out of, I think we had like 58 teams. So Vitals on the board, which is what I wanted to do. And we recently lost our fourth. So what we've been doing is looking for a new fourth. Because we have a coach, we have 3 solid players, and we're just looking for that fourth to solidify, get him under contract, get our jerseys made, and just to practice, get in these cups, get high place, and get good points, so we get a better seed for DreamHack Denver, which is coming in October, and we're all going to go to. And also, I'm going to have a house, like an Airbnb rented out, and we're going to have a LAN there. So if people want to meet and like come over, hang out and play some Halo and like try to network there, that's what we're going to be doing.
What's it like trying to recruit and find talent, in in Halo?
It is stressful. It is so stressful because
let's say if someone's in your position right now, what are you doing that somebody could take advice from?
If I'm looking for a new fourth or like trying to...
Yeah, like what are some of the things you're trying to do to weed out some candidates and find the right person?
All we do is definitely just play with them. Like, it's called running games. Like, hey, let's just try to play because everyone has a different play style. Like, this guy could be like, oh my god, this guy's so good. But his play style might not mesh well with ours. That's what I initially find, is just see if he or she can like mesh well. And if that can't happen, or like, hey, we gotta like talk and like say, hey, how would you like to do? Or this is what we like to do. Because I've had people that I run with and they just they like their play style. They like this. All right, I'm gonna do this. You guys come and do this with me. But we don't like doing that. We know what we like to do. If you're trying to reinvent the wheel again, it doesn't work. And I'm gonna tell you, thanks for your time. We're gonna move on and try to find somebody else. And it's really hard.
What are the different play styles you guys have, and like what is it that you are looking for your team as far as play style goes?
Well, me, I'm definitely the objective heavy. Like, I love running the flag. I love getting stronghold caps. I just love doing it. That's what I like doing. And then we have we have Trev, who's our third, and he's support. He's the biggest support, and he could be a slayer if needed, which is really rare to find, because usually when people are trying to do support, they're not really trying to get kills, but this man can do both. And then we have Eric Wolfgod, and he's our main slayer. This guy's a killing machine when he's hot. When he's hot, there's no one safe. And I literally mean no one's safe. Is fun little story. We're playing a scrim, and he got a triple kill. And usually when you get a triple kill, you want to look for that over. You want to kill the whole team. You want that extermination medal. And he's yelling, "Where's it at? Where's the fourth guy?" He turned around and no-scoped our teammate. And he's like, "Let's go! We got this!" He did it on purpose. It wasn't on accident. It wasn't a trigger finger. He did it on purpose. Sure. It was hilarious. But that's our three. So I'm really objective prone. I could get kills. I could be a slayer as well. Trev's a support slayer, and Eric's just the definitely the sneaky slayer too. Because like I know people talk to about us, and it's like, I'll be doing this. You guys are over here, and I'm getting back whacked by Eric. I don't know where he came from or how he got there, but he was there, and that's us. And what we need a person with a good attitude that could just fill that spot, like just be that puzzle piece, just come in and just fit in there, which is kind of hard. It's like, I don't like to be picky, but as soon as we get something close to that, I know we could work well. We could work with him and to mesh it to where we want this team to be.
How much of talent in Halo is kind of learned and developed over time and like practiced versus just having kind of an innate talent? Much as the same as like LeBron James, right? Like he's just has natural DNA. He was always going to be a tremendous athlete and an all-star basketball player. What do you think is like the mix of, learned talent versus just born with it?
Well, definitely I know born with it more is either like you're either going to be good with teamwork and comms or you're going to be an amazing shot. And I definitely see more of this, like, hey, they're an amazing shot, but their comms aren't that great. And I feel like you have to learn that. Like, you have to learn to, I know a lot of people have this issue with, like, hey, I could kill everything, but I don't know where to be at this time and where. You have to mold somebody to learn that. Like, you have to hold some positions, let's say, on truth. If you're going to pull in a car side, you have to stay in the bubble because you want to block those spawns. And, like, this guy that's slaying everything, he's like, he leaves the bubble. And we try pulling a bubble, and it's just like, hey, dude, you got to do this here because you have to teach that. Which is a common knowledge, you would think, but some people don't have that. But on the other hand, there's people who know how to hold spawns or can do all that naturally, just can't shoot well. It's really hand in hand. I feel like finding that all around good player is what it's really hard to find. And usually if they can't find them is because like they're already on a team.
Right.
It's like trying to find that perfect girlfriend. Like, oh, she has a boyfriend. No, can't have her. That's what it feels like.
What do you guys do to practice? Do you just find teams to scrim? Do you guys go online, do deathmatch type stuff? Like, what do you guys do to practice?
Well, we like to get on together, and then we'll usually do like a little warm up game. It's us playing each other, shooting each other with the snipers, pistols, getting our thumbs warm, and we'll go in and play matchmaking. And if we have a person that we like, we'll get a scrim set up. And when you scrim on Halo, it's when you play all 13 maps and game types, 3 game types against this team. And I really like doing that the best because in matchmaking, you don't know what game type you're going to get. You don't know what kind of connection you're going to get. But in scrims, you're going to play this one team, and you're going to play everything. You're going to see, like, if this guy has a good map, if he has a bad map. So, yeah, definitely, what us practicing is scrims. My last team I had, we were scrimming almost every day before Atlanta. It was definitely work getting on to, because a scrim takes an hour and a half. And this is just hour and a half of just drilling in Halo. There's no stopping. It's just like maybe a pee break here and there, but it's pretty rough. And one time, I think we did 3 in one day, which is insane.
It sounds like a lot of hours. I mean, if it's scrim is an hour and a half and you're doing 3 of them, it's definitely a long, grueling day and of playing video games, right?
Yeah, my retinas were on fire. I could smell them. It was bad.
I just want to, again, thank you for coming on the show and sharing your esports narrative with all the listeners. And I wish you guys all the best of luck in Denver. And everything you guys do going forward, we'll be cheering you on. And just want to say thanks again for coming on the show. Thank you for having me. It was a fun time. Awesome. Thank you. And with that, I just want to remind everyone that if this all goes as planned, this show is just the beginning. Thank you, listeners. I really appreciate you. It would mean the world to me if you subscribed and shared the show. Your word of mouth is amazing.